All right, we are getting warmed up for the very first art battle in Omaha. We are at Kuchser House, and it's going to be a hell of a show tonight. They have done a great job over there. Our local partner, Marcy, and the whole group over there have really pulled together a fantastic battle, and we are thrilled to show it to you. So I am Simon Plashkus and one of the co-founders of Art Battle, and I'm here tonight with your regular Art Battle host, Morgan Booth. Hello, Morgan. Morgan is shutting her door and getting a coffee. Oh no, here she is. Hello, Morgan.
Hello.
Is the Red Bull ready?
The Red Bull is ready.
I'm going to flip over to Showtime here, and we are going to see some art magic. Morgan, what can you tell us about tonight's artist?
I'm getting robot-y.
What are we seeing?
From
You're
you,
getting robot-y. Oh, robot audio? Okay, I'm going to close and open again. You take it.
Yeah. I'm going to quit and come back.
Hello, hello. Morgan, how about that? Hello, hello. Morgan, how about that? Can you hear me?
Yep. I am back, and seems like everything's much better.
We're going to hear some local
waiting for the stream.
and support the artists. Okay, y'all. Somebody got a smartphone on the pull out and put it to 20 minutes. Yes. When the brushes go up, they go up. When the 20 minutes is up. Worship start for 2010. 10? It's off for 10. Alright, this is make some noise!
Very exciting artist. I
This
think
is make
we're
some noise! Y'all ready? Alright.
4, 3, 2, 1, and let's paint. There we go.
Paint. Oh man, the kickoff to the first round of the very first art battle ever in Omaha. Super excited. All of these artists are new. Can't wait to see how they throw the paint down.
Amazing. Who should we be looking out for in this great round one? Wow.
There's a couple that I'm pretty excited about. I'm really into Madeline Hake's work. And also Michaela Harrison's got some really interesting stuff. I think this is Madeline Hake here.
I can't believe how much she's got on there. We're less than 30 seconds in. Both of these artists, less than 30 seconds in, and we have full coverage.
And those are the two artists that I just said were the ones to watch.
Okay, well, right next to each other. I love that. If these artists obviously have a plan, and you know what? If you have a plan and you go into it and you stick with it, often that can be a strong indicator of success.
Yeah, and I know that Madeline has definitely been practicing as well. I was checking out her Instagram, and she's not fooling around. She's been working on her 20-minute paintings.
Amazing. Great. We'll have to get on to her about a studio tour. That'd be great to see.
Who do we have here? Loving this cerulean blue, one of my very favorite blues, and this application technique with this flat and the way that Jennifer is applying it is really she's just kind of feathering it across the canvas. Yeah.
The color selection is a huge part of how the audience connects, the voting audience, so it's important. It's important, and it's nice to have it displayed right off the bat to sort of set the tone for what's coming.
And Amanda Sirian here, a little behind the game, 2 minutes in, and these are the first strokes I think that we're seeing from her, unless she was doing some drawing in white or graphite, maybe.
Oh, very nice. I think we might be seeing a little bit of some floral action here.
And this is Elguero.
Yeah.
Elguero, I think it's pronounced. And I like these florals. I feel like this is maybe going to be some sort of like headdress.
Okay.
And this piece from Madeline is already looking a little bit different than what I was checking out for her practice pieces. So I love that I don't know what to expect. This is a fresh piece.
She's got a wide repertoire. That bodes well if she manages to make it through the first round, and we'll perhaps see her in the final.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that she's got a few paintings in her pocket. And this is Michaela Harrison. Michaela is really well known for creating a lot of intergalactic space-based work, and she actually runs a tech and art experience called Art is Science.
Wow, and she has an amazing outfit on to match. So,
and here we are. Anthony Pina has done a great job carving out the silhouette. Really, really clean work here.
Beautiful, and that arm. I don't know what's going to come from that, but that's it's a powerful shape already. Oh, look, the continuation of these colors. It went more of a sort of neutral tones. I wasn't expecting that, but I like it. I think we're going to see perhaps a bit of a classic landscape here with some nice bright colors.
Yeah, I'm sensing some mountainous kind of action there. She's definitely doing kind of the classic divide for this type of landscape. We have a sky and then mountains in the background, and she's working into the foreground now using the bottom third of the canvas.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
4.5 minutes elapsed, just a quarter of this time that these artists have allotted. For anyone that's new to Art Battle, these artists have 20 minutes on the clock to go from blank canvas to awesome artwork that you need to vote on. The top 2 artists, as voted by the audience, will move on to the final round. So make sure that you go to artbattle.com/vote and get registered to vote so that you can pick your favorite.
Yes, and we have 2 events tonight. We have the event here in Omaha, Nebraska, and immediately following, or possibly a slight overlap situation, we will be seeing an art battle from Vancouver, BC, Canada. You can register for both of them, 2 separate spots to register on that artbattle.com/vote link.
Nice. It's a good night for live painting. We have kind of our stronghold city of Vancouver that's been going for many years with Art Battle, and then our brand new city, Omaha, here.
Yes, great. And I see a bit of almost sugar skull action on this painting. We're on to a new one, the next one now. Oh, a figure, a portrait coming through. Very interesting approach to drawing this portrait out from this sort of, portal-like busy background.
I really like that. I feel like some of this movement is going to come forward into the portrait. And I love how, just at this stage, basically the portrait is emerging. And what kind of first clued me in that it even was a portrait over top of this abstract was just that suggestion of the mouth.
Hmm. It's so interesting in art battle when, normally you see the finished painting and it's quite obvious, but here you have to kind of suss it out at each step to figure out what's going on. So you're really looking for the clues of what's next. That shows the unique experience that is art battle.
One of my favorite things. I love the guessing game. And I almost really enjoy it when I'm wrong too.
Yeah, because it's a bit of a multiverse thing going on. It could be it could be anything. It is everything except that not in this universe where it is now. The single figure.
Totally. Okay, cool. So this with Anthony. So he's done this awesome silhouette, and it looks like there's a foreshortening in the arm. Like I feel like he's going to go into more of the drawing of this, but I feel like maybe it's a hand or a fist that's starting to come forward, and that's a really complicated gesture to execute in a silhouette like that.
Yeah, this piece is very interesting the way that it was constructed, because it's kind of been done, like body segment at a time. Initially we saw like just the shoulder sort of ending. It's very much following a sort of the logic of how you might learn to construct from figure drawing, but much more dedicated to the section by section approach, which I'm really appreciating as a way to sort of communicate and interact with the audience.
Absolutely. And here we have Jennifer Young. And Jennifer Young is actually an art teacher and a program director for Creative Impulse, which is an art experience space in Omaha.
Fantastic.
I want to know what's going on in the foreground. What is this light-colored semicircle?
It's a fried egg, obviously.
Yeah, I feel like it's throwing me for a loop, obviously.
It's weird. It's maybe a reverse sun thing going on. The sun rising out of the pool of water in the foreground. An impossible piece here.
And here we are with Amanda
going skull.
I like that. So this is an interesting approach to a skull painting. She's kind of weaving all of these like vines, these plant vines together to communicate that it's a skull shape. And then we have El Guerrero on the other side doing a more kind of traditional approach. I'm liking the graphic quality of the outlines of these flowers, and that's very indicative of his work as well. He likes to use a lot of kind of compartmentalized spaces of color that are really flat, so there's not a lot of gradient or color mixing, staying quite graphic.
Very interesting.
Ooh, look at these emotive eyes emerging from Madeline.
Yes, it's very cool when the super detail of the eye is the most prominent and sort of first drawn out component of a portrait. And we can see here the camera person is showing us we're working from a reference here, but
nice.
Obviously a much more color vibrant version of it, which is a cool way to work with a reference, and not to do such a complete and full reproduction, but rather to sort of bring your own style to it.
Yeah, and I love seeing in real time the kind of the mental transformation that is applied to the reference, because you can see where the basis is that she's working off of, but obviously it's been translated through all of these different layers of creativity to be what it is on the canvas.
Allowing us to see inside the mind of the artist.
Okay, here we are back with Makayla. Ooh, and we're starting to get into some of these stars. We've got kind of a green and black, like, nebula situation going on.
Just hard to make out from our camera feed here, but I think this is going to be a very powerful painting.
Yeah,
look at
the
that.
Movement of the circles.
Very nice.
Is there a figurative element going on in the middle, I think?
I think there might be a woman in the moon.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah, I know. That's nice. It brings it to a little bit more whimsy, a little bit more, human connection aspect, but still we're in the stars. Very cool.
You totally took the words out of my mouth. I was definitely going to say whimsy. Okay, and Here we are back with Anthony, and just this really exciting technical layering situation that he's doing. I'm really, as an artist, I'm enjoying seeing what his process is and how he's applying and what his steps are.
I think it's important to comment here. Obviously this is a fairly monochromatic work, but actually the subtle addition of colors, these deep blues on top of the black, is, I think, for me, the most powerful aspect of this work. Is very, very cool. Also, the way that it is evolving throughout the performance.
Yeah, the layering of the blue over top of the black like this is giving it like almost like this modeling quality, this volume, and you can, like, it feels sculptural, and then at the same time it's so stark the way that he's used the background. I'm usually not a huge fan of keeping a lot of negative space, but in this instance I really hope that Anthony does keep most of that negative space, because I like how sharp it is.
Amazing.
Okay, we've got a canvas flip from Jennifer.
Only 7 minutes remaining. This round just blew by. Geez, a lot of talent here. Really, really thrilled to see it.
And especially acknowledging that all of these artists are new as well. So this is their first time stepping up to the easels. Every artist in this round is new. I think in the next round we do have one experienced artist who's done some art battle traveling, but this round is all new artists. So introduction of some florals into this plant skull. I like the way that Amanda is like weaving these together.
Yeah, that's a great way to speak of it. She's really mimicking the plants themselves as they're sort of growing along. It's really neat, especially at this planterly time of year.
I'm living for how bright this piece is. Wow, I'm really into this piece from Madeline.
Yeah, she's paced it herself so well. Also, a really nice evolution. Really impressive work here. Love the colors too. I mean, you can't go wrong with these colors.
And again, I'm just loving the way that she's allowing the background to really shine through, and she's applying more kind of a drawing illustration over top of this abstract painting. And then, of course, here we are back with Makayla, and looks like she's just done a lot to harmonize that galaxy.
Oh, our negative space is getting wiped out here. Oh, look at that!
It's a cool color.
That's a great color, and it's got a bit of the the black smoke, black clouds thing going on in it as well from some of the application. I presume that's intentional, and loving this. Really great.
Yeah, I like it. It's creating almost a gradient, which is like grounding the figure. Oh man, I would have so much anxiety painting around those sharp lines.
Yeah. Well, he's been really smart about it. You could see he's wiping off the paint periodically, and then starting with the fresh yellow. So
that's one of the really fun things about art battle is your mirror neurons are just going nuts.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Imagining yourself with that paintbrush thinking, no, or yes.
And Jennifer's fanning her piece, so it looks like she maybe is having some challenge with working on the wet on wet, so she switched to trying to dry it a little bit with that fanning technique. Three and a half minutes left on the clock. Make sure that you guys go to artbattle.com/vote and get registered to vote. Choose Omaha to vote for your favorite artist in this first round. We have 3 20-minute rounds tonight in this event, 2 qualifying rounds. So top 2 artists from round number 1 and round number 2, as voted by the audience, will go to a 3rd showdown round.
The final round. And of course, the winner of tonight's final round will be competing in the Omaha City Championship, who will then go on, I think most likely from the Omaha event directly to the National Championship. Possibly Midwest. We'll see. You have to see how many people end up being in. We got to keep the levels level. But we are gearing up already for the 2023 National Championship.
So exciting. It's like, oh man. So every art battle event, every round, your vote really, really counts, because it just marks the beginning of the journey for these artists as they advance through the competition into city, state, nationals, international.
This is a great painting. I hope we get to see it's the camera's had a particularly tough time with this, but yes, there we go. Thank you. Oh, you know what go ahead, Morgan.
What do you love?
What I love is the coming out of the top. I guess we're gonna assume that's a figure there. This like glowing light coming out of the top of the figure's head, which is perfectly bisecting the painting. I thought that was great. Whoa, look at this.
Whoa.
Yes.
This piece is such a great art battle painting, and that there's been so many good surprises.
Oh my God, the hand. We weren't sure what was going on there, but that hand, which is kind of translucently overlaid on top of that background, is, wow, that's an impressive work.
That is wild. I dig that so much.
Yeah, me too. We don't usually vote, but we might have to sneak in there and throw a vote.
Yeah. Like, it's a really cool piece visually, but the surprise elements, the performance aspect of that piece in particular, I would say is the most strong performance piece of this round.
Yes, I think, although it's a tight competition for, was it Madeline here who did the... Yeah, those two, there's such strong work here. It's really great. Good work on the curatorial team there. Really nice.
Final 20 seconds on the clock.
Yep, artbattle.com/vote if you're not already in. You get a simple text message with a link to vote. One person, one vote will decide the winner for this round 1 in Art Battle Omaha. There it is. Brushes down, painters. Brushes down. Look at this.
So good. And it takes some bravery, especially for artists that haven't been participating in the art battle community before. So for a lot of these artists, this is the first time that they're seeing art battle, and they're seeing it from the perspective of the artist doing it.
Yeah, really cool. Amazing. Well, we are going to be back. This is the first event in Omaha, and from our past experience, I can tell you that we might have a little delay between run one and two as they get things sorted out there. But we will be back for round. Oh, look at this! Sorry to interrupt myself. This is just too cute. Oh, there you go. Yeah, we're going to leave the feed up, so welcome to stick with us. But we will be back in a few minutes, probably I would say actually 10 or 15 minutes to do round two for this Art Battle Omaha. Okay, well, I think our video might have been desynchronized there a little because we are already going.
Woo! 20 minutes on the clock.
Round 2 in the inaugural art battle, Omaha. I'm Simon Plashkus, the one of the co-founders of Art Battle, and here tonight with Morgan Booth, your regular and very experienced host. Hello, Morgan.
Hi, guys. I love a new Art Battle City. I'm so excited to be doing commentary with you here for Omaha. We're in second round now. 6 new artists up to the easel. And we're checking out Daniel Sedra throwing down some spray paint now.
Some spray. It's so great. We were deprived of spray for many years, but we've allowed ourselves a little, and that's a nice open door there on the far end. So hopefully everybody stays fresh.
And is this
Emily Mcqueen? Nice and a nice handwriting on that name there. And I love this palette, and then black right on top of it. Whoa!
I dig that.
Moves.
An aggressive start and really intuitive mark making. Definitely seems like Emily is kind of a flow-based artist.
Yeah, and what that ends up with is real consistency between the brush strokes.
Mm-hmm.
And that is always nice. The kind of bit of a fractal therapy thing going on there with her piece.
And here we are with DeJuan Cribs. And DeJuan was one of the artists that I've been really excited to see tonight because, well, maybe I won't ruin it. I'll just let the piece, I'll let the piece evolve before I spoil it for everybody in the first 2 minutes.
Okay, great. Well, we are, I'm excited. I don't know what you were going to say. And I do love these figures coming off the bat. They feel at once, we'll use it from the last round, whimsical, and sort of there's a positive and bright energy to them, but also very human, which is cool. Just with those few strokes at the bottom. This is
definitely a skilled gestural application there.
Really impressive. Yeah, easy to identify with them. And now we have this kind of multiple perspective, multiple height thing going on. Very, he's got a plan and he's sticking to it. I hope it's the plan you're excited about.
Me too. And here we have Omni, and Omni is another artist who's going down with an aggressive first approach. We see Omni wiping on this kind of wave of black paint with his palm. And that is, I think, one of the like most effective and also still sort of high artful applications here, because there's this big shape. But I don't know. So you get into finger painting there, and it's such a dicey maneuver. So I'll be very curious to see how far I can take that. Yeah, lots of bold starts here. This round is spicy, and I like it.
Wow! Look at Jen's piece. Speaking of spicy, and I'm sure you like it.
Oh, I do. So Jen is our only vet painter. Our only artist that has painted in Art Battle before. She's actually painted in New York City and in Brooklyn.
Amazing.
Check out this kind of bombastic movement that she's got going with all of these different paint strokes.
I can't even understand how she achieved that sort of like the blurriness. I know we're dealing with a little bit of a video feed here, but I think there's some underlying, sort of this camera haze effect that she has put on.
There's like a feathering.
Yeah, but so consistent. Really impressive. And of course, the classic Mr. Potato Head.
Here we are with Gavyn Mitchell. And Gavyn is really well known for her figure portraits that kind of embrace exaggerated features and often incorporate a lot of pattern. So we'll see whether or not Gavyn brings pattern into this as well.
Very cool. Well, as an exaggerated feature portrait starting off here, it's fantastic. Whoa, the spray continues.
Yeah, Daniel is going down hard with lots of different spray colors. Is this a pencil?
It is. It's a pencil.
Cool.
This is really good. Cool. I feel like very much we're bringing the, with this overlay of one image across another, this is very much like legitimate street graffiti, art on art, the layers. And I feel we very much brought it into the art battle stage here tonight. Really cool.
Yeah, definitely digging that technique there.
It feels like a slice of a wall,
Ooh, Emily, I did not expect these to go this way, but I love it. These florals. I really am just loving this. It's watching Emily place her brushstrokes is really cool. You can see that she's like, there's such a great flow between each stroke, but they're also placed really thoughtfully.
Yeah.
And a really interesting sense of light in these flowers too.
This is a really good piece. I like what you said about the light with the consistency of sort of this sort of more blown out effect from the top on all of them. And even that the one that's kind of facing the other way, just on the lip of it. Really precise work.
Check how pro she is that all of those little leaves from the flowers are actually wrapping around the canvas side too.
Wow. Okay. What are we seeing here? This is the room. This is an art battle.
Yes. So this is what I was excited about.
Okay. Wow.
So,
I have that's cool. You don't see that too often, and I think that's going to be a very good rendition of it. Really nice.
Yeah, and whoever buys that, I'm sure will be taking home this just wonderful memory of what went down here tonight. And DeJuan's really well known.
A portrait of themselves.
Yeah, totally. And DeJuan's really well known for doing those kind of crowd scenes where he's responding to the immediate energy of the audience and trying to capture that kind of the movement of the people and the vibe in the room. So immediately when he stepped up to the easel, I was like, yes, do it. Please do what I want you to do.
Well, that is another great example of a good plan with respect to the performance or sort of the reveal to the audience, taking them along, because you can kind of get a sense, and I know obviously the figures were very good right off the bat, but then when you have that aha moment of, oh my God, he's painting the room, it's so rewarding. It's definitely worth a few votes.
Yeah, definitely. And here we are with Jen, and it looks like we've got, is this a giraffe that she's overlaid over top of these this kind of abstract situation?
I don't know. Wow.
That's a lot of wet paint to be working over. That's got to be hard.
A giraffe. Wow. The colors here are really something. They are. It's a great set of colors.
Yeah, definitely those purples. And then here we are back with Gavyn. Gavyn's added the hair into the portrait.
Having it fill the frame like this is so rewarding. I feel like a lot of times we get kind of slightly minimized. We err on the side of minimization of the, of the figure size versus the canvas size at Art Battle, because people want to make sure that they can get the job done in 20 minutes. But so it's a refreshing and enjoyable feeling to see one that sort of goes a little bit the other way. It's obviously intentionally sort of over large in the canvas, and that's really good.
That's so funny. That's the exact comment that I was going to make, that I was just really digging the compositional scale there. And I like Daniel's piece here. I feel like the pencil is writing the writing that he initially put down.
Ooh. Yeah.
We got layers.
Cool. This is a great piece. Holy moly. The artists of Omaha may just steamroll the entire country in terms of their rebuttal skill. So,
yeah, watch out, LA.
Watch out, LA.
They're coming for you.
You're taken down by Omaha. They're running boot camps out there.
Yeah, seriously. It looks like there are. Oh, I love this piece from Emily so much, because we're so used to seeing florals being presented in a way that's so soft, and the squaring of the brush strokes here and the kind of little bit of aggression and painterliness that's being put into the way that it's applied, it just makes it so much more interesting. So halfway mark here. Now is the time to start thinking about which artists you want to be voting for, and to make sure that you go register to vote at artbattle.com/vote.
I cannot believe we're only halfway through. These paintings look like we're at the 18-minute mark.
Yeah, bananas. Great job,
bananas. Omaha. Yeah.
And DeJuan is starting to add his color in. And he looks like he's going color by color. So he's throwing down all of the blue where he wants it, all the green where he wants it.
Might be a bit of a one brush character.
It'd be so funny. It'd be so. I know that he can't, because he would have to get up and go around and look at everybody's piece. But wouldn't it be fun if he did a miniature of each of the artist's works in his own work? I feel like that's more than 8 minutes and 40 seconds will afford him. I want it.
I like it.
He's given me all my wishes so far.
Honestly, though, Morgan, I think he might be.
So good.
If the person next to him is wearing green and has a predominantly red canvas, he might have done it. Well, here we are, still full-on hand action.
Is this Omni still?
Yeah.
So, definitely into the mud. Would like to see Omni. I want to see where this is going, because right now we're moving a lot of paint, but we're not seeing where the content of the piece is yet.
No, there's going to have to be a pretty big switch at the end for this to compete in this otherwise super powerful round.
Great color work here from Jen. I'm loving these teal accents on this kind of like ghosty giraffe.
I'm blown away by the hybrid of clean lines between colors and blurry lines between colors in this painting. Like this contrast of this, like the drips and some of the other elements are such crisp lines, and the blurriness of the background especially, but also the face, the area of the giraffe, I guess, is unbelievable.
And now we can see that she's punched in the eyes there. And back with Gavin. Ooh, I love these flowers. Mm-hmm. And look at the serene expression of her portrait. Mm-hmm. It's always a nice surprise to me in Art Battle when we see a portrait that has kind of a serene expression, because the room is so active. The vibe of the room is so active and energetic. And then you get this kind of calm place to land.
That's so interesting, because it makes me think of what you said earlier about the mirror neurons thing. What we might be witnessing here is because this artist looks very chill. She very much sort of embodies the work that she's doing there. And I wonder how much of that is kind of, like a meditative technique to break through the intensity of the room and the experience, and seeing the actual output of that process, that self-process as the artwork.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Just wow. Only at Art Battle, folks, you get these super insightful views. You get to really see the artist's process. And as an audience member, too, we also get to project our own meanings onto these works and our own individual connections as we're seeing them being made.
No doubt. Holy moly. I don't know. I hope the audience takes the time to look closely at this piece, both online and in person. But the light, the combination of sort of the interplay of light and abstraction here is phenomenal. This is a top-notch piece.
Yeah, Emily's just done such a great job in building this piece, and then even just the small accents that she just added of the stamens of the flower and just that hit of super saturated yellow. So 5 minutes left on the clock here. We're going to see whether or not DeJuan is intentionally leaving this amount of negative space.
I think so, and I think it's fine. That would be a tough piece to get in there now and make a consistent sort of gradient, light sensitive background there.
Mm-hmm. Good sense of movement, and oh my gosh, I think you can see one of the artists in his canvas is turning their canvas. There's like one diagonal canvas.
Awesome.
Eyes for details. So still sweeping color with Omni.
I have faith. I think that there is a very good possibility of essentially a 60-second painting right at the end here that is solid.
We shall see. 4 minutes left on the clock, so he's got 3 more minutes by your count to keep blending this paint with his hand, and then 1 minute to.
And then 1 minute. I hope we roll around right at 1 minute. Let's see.
Oh, I love this yellow. There's this big yellow piece that's just behind the ear of the giraffe that I really like. I always end up picking my favorite. Yeah, I always end up picking my small favorite part of a piece, and that's where I'm liking best from Jen's work.
Yeah, it's very rich up there. You almost see the eye of an animal right above it, in that section above it, kind of highlights that. Like a weird bird or a baboon or something.
Gavin's done such a good job of just timing out this piece. She does not feel rushed at all. And all of the elements are down here. And now we're just starting to see her kind of honing in those highlights in the face. Just really well planned timing execution here from Gavin.
Oh man, I love this piece.
It's giving such old school vibes too.
Yeah. So and it's got a total 90s color palette.
Mm-hmm.
Really nice.
Oh, look at this. I'm so glad that we're getting this moment of Daniel chipping in the pencil line, just the very tip of the pencil.
Look at that, and he's using a paint marker,
and we can see little bits of spray of black too as we get closer up to the piece.
Yeah, some flicked black.
2 minutes remaining on the clock. Head on over to artbattle.com/vote. The top 2 artists from this round and from the first round will be going forward into a 4-artist final where we will see them paint again. So not only are you voting for whose painting you liked best, but also for who you want to see paint again. I feel like I could watch Emily paint all day. I'd love to see her paint again.
Well, we must arrange that.
Yeah, note to our organizers. We want Emily back. Book her for our next event.
Okay, here's the 1 minute mark. I hope we get back over.
Back over to Omni.
Back over to Omni. Yeah.
Oh, and we can see that DeJuan has tackled some of the negative space you can see up in the wall.
Oh yeah,
The
it's
far
exactly
wall.
what he's doing right now. Good call, Morgan. That's the main job for probably the next 36 seconds.
I
The
try.
artist with
I've
the-
had fun
with the-
predicting DeJuan's whole painting.
Amazing. The prices are too good in Omaha. I'm going to bid on 2 paintings right now. You got to check it out. artbattle.com/vote also gives you access to the auction.
Oh, I like these sassy little speech bubbles on Jen's piece.
Were you able to read what they said?
It was just a symbol of a heart.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I was bidding at that time. Sorry.
Simon's eschewing his commentary duties to collect all of the art.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Look at this. Well, I think timer's done, at least by our count, and that painting by Omni. I don't know. I do have an appreciation of the consistency of it. It was almost like it's a representation of the work that he did, that sort of motion for that time period of the battle. But you'd really have to experience it in the context of its creation. Wow.
Yeah, I feel like that kind of calls back to like the action painting. Was an art historical movement that was very much just focused on the action of painting.
Very cool.
Yeah, great round here. Lots of fun surprises. Gotta say, really loved Emily's piece. I feel like she just used the canvas so well.
Well, Morgan, that was one of the best rounds of our battle. Perhaps the best first city art battle round we've seen in a long time. Really nice.
Yeah, definitely. Congrats to Omaha for really bringing it tonight.
Fantastic. I'm going to see you. We're going to see you guys all very soon. We're going to give you a little bit of interstitial music, and we'll let us keep watching, and we'll be back for round 3.
Time, make sure that you go to artbattle.com/vote. Cast your votes for the artists from round 1 and 2 so that you can see your favorites in the final. All right, we just had our finalists announced for the very first art battle in Omaha. Our finalists from round number 2, or from round number 1, who will be moving into the final, are Madeline Hake and Michaela Harrison. And from round number 3, we will have Emily Mcqueen and Gavin Mitchell. So huge congratulations to these 4 awesome artists. Just coming to the top out of an absolutely impressive group of artists, especially for a first event in a new art battle city. Just really, really impressed with the quality tonight, and we cannot wait to see the quality continue as we move into the final round. We will be starting the final round in just a few minutes. We're just giving those finalists a chance to reset their palettes and get ready to face another blank canvas. So stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few moments. All right, 20 minutes on the clock for our final round of Art Battle in Omaha. Super exciting night tonight. In our final round, we have Madeline Hake and Makayla Harrison from round number 1. And from round number 2, we have Emily Mcqueen and Gavin Mitchell. So these guys are painting their hearts out with another 20 minutes on the clock, a fresh canvas in front of them, and hopefully another brilliant idea. One artist will be crowned the winner at the end of the night, and that artist will then move on to the Omaha City Finals. So every vote super counts. So make sure that if you're not already registered, go to artbattle.com/vote so that you can help us choose the winner.
Well, whoever is the winner is sure to be a fantastic artist, because we have a final round full of fantastic artists.
Yeah, these guys are throwing down. These artists did not come to play in Omaha.
And a lot of good plans gone well in the first round. I'm curious which of these artists had, they were ready for that full second painting. And I have to think it's going to be most of them.
Yeah, I definitely think that Madeline has something up her sleeve from all of her practice battles. But here we are looking at Gavin, and Gavin has that same calm energy. She really seems like she's going into this round confidently.
And as we've seen a few times for a portrait-focused artist to go from the sort of face-on to the profile, we are starting off with an exaggerated, I think, profile portrait for which will be a great companion piece, especially if it has some of the same sort of stylistic elements.
And I think Michaela's approach here with that kind of the exaggerated features that are already a part of her style, I think that's going to lend itself really well to working in profile, because profile, if you're going for a photorealist, it's so difficult to get those proportions correctly. So having some wiggle room there, I think, is going to be a great strategy.
Fantastic.
And here we are with Madeline Hake. It looks like she's going the opposite color palette than her qualifying round.
Very cool. Another companion piece approach here. It's always nice when the paintings are, call back at least a bit to the previous work, but also have enough novelty in them to sort of keep people excited. And a palette flip or a perspective shift can do just that.
And it's great for the collectors too, because oftentimes I've seen collectors walk out of Art Battle with the qualifying piece and then that artist's final round piece as well. And especially if they're painting something that's just different enough, but similar enough that those pieces are, as we were saying, companion pieces. It's great for collecting. And all of these works are available for silent auction to our online audience as well at that same link, artbattle.com/vote. You can bid on them. So it looks like we've got Makayla going with kind of a purple galaxy vibe. I'm seeing her kind of punching in those veins of highlights. She's already established her totally dark background with that beautiful purple color coming in there. And here we are with Emily Mcqueen. Oh, looks like she's taking on a landscape for her second round piece. Quite the departure from her qualifying round, but similar in her application of brushstrokes with that kind of sharp, squared brushstroke.
Wow, if she can pull off the same sort of nuances of lighting and consistency of stroke with a landscape as she can with that floral piece, I think the audience is going to be very, very compelled. That's exciting. Good approach by her.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And we're just getting such a gorgeous kind of tonal quality here with these almost lavender, like mauvey lavender clouds, getting that kind of twilight.
Ah, two figures.
That's a great way to balance the canvas from Gavin, but quite the challenge to take on.
I feel like Gavin is a bit of a master of the measured, timed approach. Um, in the previous round, their work evolved slow and steady throughout the entire piece, and I think there's a couple of practice paintings in there too. So,
yeah,
maybe...
I would be so surprised to hear if she didn't practice beforehand, because I definitely think that she did. I agree with you that her time management in battle strategy is just really working for her. And already we're starting to see the addition of stars from Makayla with this kind of careful application technique of just dotting in these little highlights of white. It's a really interesting approach moving from this super dark background into painting onto the foreground. She achieved a lot of lightness in her qualifying round piece. But I gotta say, I would be so intimidated to paint over top of black. I'm always really admiring of artists that are able to do that, especially in this time setting where you're dealing with so much wet paint. But Makayla definitely knows what she's doing.
It helps that we're dealing with a very dark toned piece. It lends itself a little bit better to that blending.
Yeah, I wonder if we're gonna get something in the foreground, that surprise in the foreground, like we did last time, or if this is gonna be more of that kind of leaning into the space concentration.
I am really impressed at this group of artists generally. In particular, all of them seem to have such a careful strategy on their move from the first to the second round. These guys all thought they were getting here, and they did. I mean, who knows if there were other artists from round one that also thought the same thing but didn't? But really, really impressive. A lot of calls back to their first round pieces, sticking to sort of, tried and true enough to ensure both a connection and excellence in the work, but novel enough to see us and the whole audience not get bored.
Yeah, such a great point, Simon. And I can't agree with you more. This is a really mature battle strategy from all four of our finalists. And especially knowing that all of these artists are completely new to Art Battle, this being our first time ever in Omaha, this really is reading like a veteran battle, the way that everyone is managing their time, managing their subject matter, and just with the quiet confidence that all of these artists are bringing to the easel in this final round.
We were joking about it in round one, but it may be that Omaha steamrolls the whole country, and it's nothing but Omaha artists from now on. Really impressive.
Nothing but Nebraska.
Nothing but Nebraska.
just approaching the halfway mark here. So one winner will be crowned for the end of the night that will then move into the Omaha City Finals at the end of the season. We will be holding events regularly, so make sure that you go to artbattle.com/vote and register if you're not already. And if you are already registered, just use your link and you can vote for your favorite artist. Every vote super counts. We hear from our voting manager, Gina, all the time about how tight the races are. I'm really enjoying this like maroon color, would you say? That Makayla is using, especially as it's contrasted with this kind of dusty blue.
Yeah, and there's even I don't think it's just the lighting. There's a pretty strong gradient in it as well, left to right. It seems really great.
And then you're getting these stylized lines with the black that's just bringing into the features and emphasizing the features.
I love that they're bald. Her first figure was until she spent the latter half of the painting focused on the hair and into the background. So maybe that's what we're going to see here too. But I would not be mad at all if these went bald all the way to the end.
Yeah, I agree with you. It gives it makes the shapes of the head so interesting. And yeah, I hope that we don't get hair just because, and I think that we might not just because we're seeing that black line has been, oh, never mind. Spoke to you. Don't listen to me, guys.
What I also like about this piece, the implied perspective that comes from the different scale of the two figures. Yes, possible that one of them is just sort of, kind of a smaller head, but you get this real sense of depth and perspective and sort of, looking off to the left in this piece. Really impressive.
Yeah, a lot of interesting elements here. And again, that kind of quality of serenity in the art, in the figure's expressions. Ooh, I'm so excited to see what Madeline is working on. This palette is so great, and she's doing the similar approach of applying almost a drawing over top of an abstract painting and then kind of knitting them together.
Right. And it's tough, you leave yourself with kind of half of the puzzle already solved. For example, in the face there, you have to keep working with those colors. Yes, you could sort of totally go over them, but then you get yourself into some muddy tones.
Yeah, and with this style, there's definitely no room for mud at all because we can tell that Madeline really wants these lighter tones to be coming forward. And we can see that she's starting to incorporate some of the highlights into the hair as well. Ooh, and here we are with Makayla. And we're seeing the figure emerging from this dark background.
This is a fantastic landscape.
Yeah, Emily's just killing it.
Wow.
Like the contrast between her palettes from her qualifying round to this piece, her qualifying round being so hot in terms of just the warmth of the colors and the strength of saturation. And then here we have colors that are a lot more subdued, that are really communicating the distance and perspective, the time of day, but we can still really tell that it's Emily's work because of these squared off brush strokes.
This is great work. It's at once painterly and something more precise, like printerly or something. You know what I mean? Like, because those brushstrokes are so obvious, but they're too consistent that they were applied by a machine almost. But, really great.
Yeah, just loving the contrast of the super soft subject matter
and then having this angularity applied to it just makes it so interesting. And that was a technique that she had used in her first round piece of taking something that we're used to seeing represented really softly, those florals, and then bringing that angularity in there as well.
Are you seeing, look at this, the strokes in the back. Oh, we'll have to look at it when we come back. Remind me to talk about the 3 stroke layers.
Okay, 3 stroke layers. Yeah, this magenta to purple, pinky skin tone that we have from Makayla here is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the scale difference between the heads is more interesting, I think, than if it had been totally symmetrical.
Absolutely. And you can tell that it's, I mean, of course it's intentional, but we're getting some color play stuff here, but I think the color of the figure, hard to tell if it's just lighting, but I feel like they were different colors as well. Like one of them was more brightly lit.
I feel like they're pretty much the same color, but where I'm super impressed is the way that she's building out the hair. You can see that the larger figure, the hair is going off of the canvas, and the smaller one, it's still contained within. So I think that's a really interesting compositional and scale-related decision that I'm really interested in, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And here we have these super hot orange highlights from Madeline. This portrait is so emotive.
Yeah, that's a very direct stare from this figure. It's cool.
Yeah, good connection of this portrait to the audience there. A very strong eye contact. And I like the gesture of the body and the way that the shoulders are kind of hunched and moving forward a little bit. Definitely giving me a sense of kind of vulnerability of the subject. So I think we're getting a close-up view of the figure that was previously in this other piece.
Really?
Of Makayla's. And I just
Wow.
realized just with the kind of the graininess of our name tags that I've been misnaming Gavin. I'm liking this blue and purple orb on the side from Makayla there. Okay, 3 layers. Go.
Right, here it is. So in the foreground, we see much wider brush strokes, and then we move into the tree layer, and the brush strokes are thinner, and then into the back, the brush strokes are much more subtle and more narrow. Mm-hmm. I think this is like, not only are we seeing the regular sort of perspective and depth here, but also in the technique itself, it's represented.
Wow, that's such a cool observation. And here we are back with Gavin Mitchell. Just the stylistic approach here is it's so recognizable, and you can really see that in Gavin's work as you peruse her Instagram as well. And if you are following Art Battle, we have shared all of the artists' works on our Art Battle Omaha page. So you'll be able to check them out and see their links. Oh, I love that Gavin has art written on her hand.
I think that's a tattoo.
I hope so.
I'm glad the flowers made an appearance. I was worried with 2 figures that she wouldn't have enough time.
But again, there's really that great. Perfect time management, that perfect build from Gavin.
Really impressive.
These this highlighter yellow chartreuse that Madeline has going on as the highlights of her portrait is really cool.
We only have 45 seconds left. Now, if you want to help us choose the winner, is your last moments to go and register and then help us vote. artbattle.com/vote. Here we go. Art Battle Omaha. Wow.
Yeah, super impressive showing from these artists tonight. Great final round. Gotta say, these guys really stepped up. It's hard to pick a favorite. But that's the job that we're literally tasking you all with.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're thinking about not voting because you truly can't pick which art painting is the best, you have to do it anyway. You have to really go inside yourself and figure out, would you want this on your wall? Do you appreciate what this contributes to the canon of art in Omaha and nationally? You got to come up with your criteria and you have to pick just one winner.
Oh, man. That's a hard choice. That is a hard choice. Kudos to Omaha for a very strong first battle. And of course, to these 4 artists for rising to the top of a very heavy talent pool tonight.
Incredible.
And you can see that the figures are like communicating to each other with these orbs passing between their third eye. That's so cool. So now is your time to vote. Who are you going to vote for? Which artist are you going to choose? Only one artist will be selected as the winner of the very first Art Battle at Omaha, going down in the history books and moving on to the Omaha City Finals at the end of this season. Is it going to be Madeline Hake and her flowing, emotive portrait in blues and greens with hits of orange? Is it going to be Michaela Harrison with her figure emerging from this kind of galaxy space situation? Is it going to be Emily Mcqueen with her beautiful subtle landscape with angular brushstrokes? Is it going to be Gavin Mitchell with her 2 stylized portraits having this kind of internal mental conversation and with beautiful flowers in their hair? Definitely a difficult choice for sure. And once again, if you are loving the works that have been created tonight, they are available for silent auction to our online audience as well. You don't need to be in the room to collect these works. Just go to artbattle.com/vote. That is also your auction link as well as your voting link. Some really cool moments tonight. Definitely some highlights. I got to say, a highlight for me was absolutely Anthony Peña's piece with that orange hand at the very last minute. I felt like that was so well planned and well performed, that piece.
What other piece?
Anthony's piece. Or what piece other than that one?
Yeah.
Loved Emily's flowers. Was so jazzed about that. Just watching them evolve and watching the way that Emily was building her piece and kind of getting familiar with her process, you end up feeling like you get such a feel for these artists because you're seeing their concentrated process in just 20 minutes. And just a reminder that Emily was actually a wild card artist that was selected from the audience to step up to the easel to fill one of our spots tonight. So she had not pre-planned any of those paintings, and then she made it to the final. So how impressive is that?
Pretty impressive. I feel like she was really ready for that.
Yeah,
Perhaps
definitely.
she had wanted to be included, but wasn't able to get in time. But really great work.
Yeah, she was waiting in the wings. Another piece that I enjoyed tonight was DeJuan's and his capturing of the very first art battle in Omaha. I feel like that painting is a little piece of history.
It's cool. We haven't seen that in a while. I think the last time, I think we might have a couple of artist Andre from Toronto used to do that.
Hmm. Yeah, I remember that. It's a special skill to be able to capture the energy in the room for sure. Any highlights for you, Sai?
Trying to pull up that thing where we can voting's tight for the winner in Omaha, says Gina.
Ooh, get your votes in. Get your votes in.
Yeah, let me see. What are we showing on the screen here? I removed the master screen. Let's put back auction, and I'm gonna go. There were so many good paintings tonight. I will say a couple of comments. Welcome to Art Battle Omaha. Yeah. Well, you already talked about Anthony Peña's painting. That was fantastic. The way that that was sort of structurally built over time, but yet was so cohesive in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really impressive. In round two, I was super blown away by Daniel's painting, Daniel Sedra.
Yes, yeah.
Um,
With the spray
so
paint.
fun with the spray paint, exactly. I mean, the spray itself was great. You know, you were talking about that pencil line in the end. For me, the pencil line, it took away from it. I mean, it didn't take away from it, but it broke the fun illusion that I think you and I were having that the pencil was related to the stuff in the background.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
And it was a point of contrast that I think that was not expected.
and you know, that's our own fault. I blame us, not the artist,
We
for
get
that.
attached to our own
However,
ideas.
yeah, exactly, exactly. But there you go. There you have it. The, you know, I after you having brought up the action painting, I
From
read the
Omni.
whole from Omni. Yeah, we read the whole Wikipedia on action painting, and you know, obviously been aware of some of that in the past, but it's nice to see it there. I don't know that like I like that. I like that painting for what it represents for how it was created. It is sort of, just by evaluating from its final result, it's not that exciting a painting. But I don't know. Somehow I feel connected to that. And yeah, but round two was so tight. Every single one of those paintings was amazing. Jen's work with the very interesting evolution of different color, sort of starting with that color blending backgrounds and the drips, making for those relatively more stark lines, all the way through to the giraffe talking about peace and thinking about love.
Yeah, that was so
um,
cool. I loved
oh,
that. I felt like that was a great way to incorporate text without text in a way. It was
yes,
symbols, so I
yes.
felt like it was still more open to interpretation than had it been outright text,
Hmm.
which I liked.
I agree. Our final round was absolutely dope. The Michaela's zoom in on her previous character. Is it wearing VR goggles? What is going on? Into that, it was fun. That's sort of the playful piece of the round. Um, Gavin's work with the slight scale difference, and being so referential to the first painting. Really like that as well.
Yeah, and the
Um,
composition elements of that
mhm.
piece were I just felt like Gavin really rocked the composition element throughout her whole battle. Like we liked that her initial portrait was fairly close up and that the crop was happening within the hair. I
Mhm.
thought that was cool. It was just this figure, this way of taking up space. And then the contrast of scale, which I think could have been easily misinterpreted in the beginning as possibly an accident, but then it was revealed in the end, no way was that an accident.
Right.
Just the composition and the way that the hair stayed in frame and then the other ones went out of frame. I'm just nerding out on her compositional qualities right now. I'm definitely going to be peeping Gavin's Instagram later.
Absolutely. And then, of course, Madeline, I preferred Madeline's first round painting. There was something about the I don't know, something about both the color and the figure itself. Um,
And the build, because that was the first way. That was kind of, we were really curious in the way
yes,
that it was going to evolve.
I think that might be a big part of it. You're right. We it was the same trick twice, and really, I mean, to each their own. That's why you get your vote. But I think that there was something a little bit more sort of energistic and striking about the first piece, but still really cool.
Yeah, there were definitely contrasting energies I felt from her first round to her second round. The second round was more, there was more vulnerability there, which, yeah, interesting to bring that into the second round. So you have kind of a fierceness in the first round and then a vulnerability in the second round.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Maybe I just prefer the fierce nature. And Emily's painting, finally, to talk about in the final round, the third round.
Emily,
So
Emily,
great.
Emily.
Yeah, really, really nice work. Um, Such a plan all the way through, very well executed at every stage. Um, I don't know. I love it. She's a great artist.
Yeah, you can really tell that Emily spends a lot of time in the studio, that she's a very well practiced, well versed artist. Really consistent style, super consistent application technique. Again, I loved that we were able to see a consistent stylistic link between two very different subject matters and two very different palettes.
Mhm.
I think that we might be getting our winner announcement very shortly.
Tight show. Tight show in Omaha.
Winner announcement is imminent. Now is your very, very last chance.
Without further ado, in 2022, our winner is we appreciate y'all.
Okay, our winner of the very first Art Battle Omaha event has been announced. And it is Gavin Mitchell. Huge congratulations to Gavin. Gotta say that she was definitely a favorite of mine throughout the night. Really excited to see her being crowned the very first winner of Art Battle Omaha.
What a fantastic group of artists, and yet a winner must emerge. And I am thrilled to see Gavin, and I hope a few more of these other artists back at events towards the end of the season, the city championships, of course, but they'll have quite a few between now and next year's championship, which usually in April. Hopefully, we'll see that again in April 2023.
Woohoo! Congrats, Omaha. Congratulations to our team in Omaha for pulling off an absolutely stellar first round event or first time event, and to all of our artists for joining us in the Art Battle community and having the courage and creativity to step up to the easel.